are a dynamic duo embarking on one of the biggest projects of their lives. Denise Gordon and her daughter Jestina Weems are co-creators of the upcoming multimedia project, We Are the Dream, the musical. And what they're out to accomplish is simply extraordinary. That's coming up next on The PowerPLAY Show.
From the studios at Hull Bay Productions, this is Season 3 of The PowerPLAY Show. Now, here's Tonya McGrath.
Welcome to The PowerPLAY Show. I'm Tonya McGrath. As we kick off Black History Month, it goes without saying it is all of our duty to recognize, pay homage, and remember those whose lives contributed greatly to this country. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King is surely one of those lives. Dr. King is being remembered in a new production, We Are the Dream, the musical, focusing on giving students a rare opportunity to meet Dr. King in person at the Lorraine Hotel in 1968. The goal is to deepen the audience's experience by recounting Dr. King's life to a broad and diverse group, helping all to see it from many points of view. I'm so excited to have the show's creators as my guests this week, Denise Gordon and Jestina Weems, a mother-daughter duo that packs a punch of creativity, energy, and originality that lifts up audiences across the country. And yeah, their family. The mother and daughter team have also created various content ranging from children's books, web series, and screenplays. Denise and Jestina, welcome to the PowerPLAY Show.
Thank you. Honored to be here. Thank you for having us. Yes, well, definitely.
You know, when we talked last month and you were telling me about this project, I said, yes, absolutely, no brainer. To start off Black History Month with the both of you in this incredible project that we're going to get into in just a bit. But first, you know, just tell us, let me start with you, Denise, because you have been in the game for a bit, but for a bit, we'll just say that. We're not going to put any numbers on anything, right?
No numbers on it.
But tell me, what has kept you so sustained and interested in just creating as much as you have over the years?
Basically, if you're a creator, you're a creator, and it's something that you just do. I have been blessed and fortunate enough to be able to still have the mindset and still have the wit to be able to do what I do. As you know, I do acting, but my main thing is comedy. So writing this play is not a comedy, but using comedy as a way to, as you say, stay in the game. Because one thing that comedy does is it gives me the ability to make people laugh. And that is something that is always needed throughout time. Yes. No matter what the season, no matter what's going on in the world, my job is I get to have people come to a place where they can just throw away their cares and just laugh, whether they're laughing at me or laughing at the content. But I consider it an honor and an honor to be able to impart joy. So just the fact that I can impart joy keeps me going year after year after year after year.
And I have to say, because you have had you've been opening up for some pretty big names in your career of comedy. And so talk a little bit about that.
Well, I opened up for Jimmy Tingle in the area. J.J. Walker was one of the most interesting people that I actually opened up for in New York. He was the one who kept on, he was like, it's a tough business, but if you're tough, stay in it. And so, you know, opening up for different people in the Boston area. Like I said, I've worked a lot in the Boston area. I've worked a lot up and down the East Coast. Dane Cook, I've opened up with and have worked with. He was also from the Boston area. So I always say I've just been blessed to be able to stay in the game and just the doors opening up that God just opens up. You know, and I've been able to meet some sincere and honest people in this business. And more than anything, some people who have names aren't just so nice, and we're not going to mention their names, but there are some good people in the business who really sincerely love the business. One of the biggest things that I say about comedy is you have to like people. I've met a lot of comedians who don't like people too much.
Right.
But you have to like people because comedy is life and life is comedy. So I played at the Laugh Factory in California. I've been when the comedy clubs were big, we were able to play all over Boston. Gil's the store around, Nick's, Dick Doherty's Comedy Club. So colleges I've been at. I'm done with colleges. Thank you very much.
That tour is over.
That tour is over. Because comedy's changed with being politically correct.
Yeah. So Jestina, what has your journey been like? And what was it about your mother's talent that made you say, you know what, I want to walk sort of in her footsteps, but as a creator and as a performer. So what was your journey like?
So creative for me was more of an emotional outlet growing up. So it wasn't something that like my mother pushed me into, like, I love acting, so you'll love acting. I just like naturally kind of found it as an outlet, starting at a young age, just writing poetry, and then just storytelling through my writing. It took a long time to build confidence as whether to share what you write, but I've always had the ability to just write, whether it's through music or film or just books. It's always been like a love of mine. I won't even say a hobby, but something I've always constantly done. But definitely in the last couple of years, a bold step to just be like, here's my work, show it to the world. If I have people judge you on it, like, it's good, it's not good, like I would have done this opinion type of thing. So that's just a new like skin you have to learn to wear and toughen up at times, that you don't always want everybody's opinion on your work, but it definitely helps you grow as a person and as a creator, for sure. And just watching my mom go through all the hurdles and like the weaving through it all, it's like gives me an easier kind of path, and just learning experience through it all of the do's and the don'ts and the wills and the won'ts.
And you mentioned confidence, and I have to say, because I follow you on social media, and your confidence is boom, off the page, like in your face.
Unapologetically, yes, me. That's me.
And so where did that come from? How did you build up that level of confidence? Because you need that in this business.
That definitely comes from my mother. Love your body, love yourself, regardless of what other people try to put on you. The world is full with labels that people try to define you under. So just being able to be comfortable enough to break free from those, and be comfortable with who you are and who you want to be as a person, and just stand in that and not allowing other people to just like steer you in another way. If you know that's what God has planned for your life, then you can definitely, with God alone, you can stand strong in just that, because he's going to open the necessary doors. Because sometimes we look towards people who like, maybe they're going to create these big opportunities for you. And one thing I learned from my mother, it's not the people, it's the man above. So that's definitely what I go with. Like, God gave me this temple, whether it's my body or my mind, and I try to share my testimony and just my confidence as a woman, especially in this age and this era of who I can be, whether I'm a mother, whether I feel sexual to myself, and I feel that's who you should feel beautiful and sexual to first before you even give your body to somebody else. So my ability is to show women, like, love your curves, love your stretch marks, just love who you are, just love yourself naked. It's just like kind of part of who I am. I know a lot of people say, I could never, but maybe never in front of a camera, but I hope you do just for you, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we're trying to get people at, especially when so many people are trying to deal with mental health, even though in the community we don't want to talk about it. And then we have to deal with a lot of abuse, which then kind of makes us feel different ways about our bodies, just because we're not embracing it. Because for us to embrace it makes us go through emotions that we haven't dealt with yet. So it's just helping people deal with those in a healthy way and getting back to loving themselves before we allow other people to love us.
That's beautiful, and words that I will keep with me, because you're just so right about loving yourself first. What is it about you both in your collaborations that you are similar in terms of the creative process? What are the similarities that you both have?
Trust. Yeah. We trust people, baby. You tell us you can do it. We believe Jesus got you going. That's probably the biggest. And then the energy and just the joy we try to keep in any and all projects that we do together, because we do a lot together. But definitely God first always, trying to keep good and positive energy, even when we feel like the devil's so far on us that we're going to break. Just trying to have the people around us to stay focused on the mission that we feel God has put in our hands. And yeah, just the love we have. Yeah, the love and
we have a lot of respect for each other and knowing what your lane is. A lot of people, like, one thing that I realized in raising children, that everyone has a gift. Everyone has a God-given gift. And when you talk about, like, even Tina's confidence, Tina growing up was a bigger girl. And when she was 8, literally, she was 5'8", she weighed 180 pounds. And I refused to put her on a diet. She played basketball, she was very active. But at 11, and it was not so much to make her feel beautiful about herself, but being that age and being that big, I couldn't find clothes for her that were appropriate. She's 8 and 9, and I have to buy in the women's section. I have to buy a size 9 shoe. So when she was 11, and she went to Barbizon. And I had her go to Barbizon because I didn't know what God was going to make her body end up looking like. Mm. So she had to feel beautiful in her body. So it was a purposeful. And Tina was always a writer and a creator. Her personality within herself, it was easier for her to write out her emotions and feelings. So I had her write. So it's really, when you talk about, I took a lot of time to know both of my children, to know who they are. And me and Tina worked very well together because I homeschooled her, and she spent a lot of time with me. But
and now I homeschool my oldest, so he spends a lot of time with me.
But it really got us a chance to really get to know who each other is, and it's acceptance. So I respect Tina for who she is. I respect her creativity. I guide her, but I don't sway her. You know, problems and situations and bridges that you have to go over, I can guide you, but if that's the bridge or the problem you have, or the storm you have to go through, I can just hold your hand as you go through it, and we can learn from it. So it was really her writing, I write. She has the ability to sing and do music, so it just made sense when
She likes my singing.
I love her singing. I love her singing. I'm not the only one. But it was something that it just came natural. So we've done a lot of projects together because projects is what kept us together.
Now, I have a similar relationship with my mom. She was in the television business for decades, and I went into the television business. And at one point we did work together, and I always kind of felt like people were treating me like, oh, that's Cynthia's kid, you know, that she's not, oh, she just got here because that's Cynthia's kid. Jestina, do you ever have any of that around you? Does anyone ever try and come at you kind of side-eyed like that?
I mean, I think in certain situations it could be kind of like that. Like, you know, she's a director, she's a producer, she's like the person to listen to. And I'm over here like, excuse me, you know, I'm old enough. I put funds in this project. I wrote some of this project. Like, I do grown people things here, people. I'm adulting, right? I'm adulting in a serious way. Give me my respect. I mean, definitely when we were in Atlanta, it was like definitely moments of it. Should I be here? Am I supposed to be here? This is just like, should be a her thing. But we're definitely always stronger together. We realize at the end of the day. But yeah, sometimes you have your days and your moments. Sometimes it's easier that way because I'm like, this is your baby, your project. Rock it, baby, rock it. You know, but you know, sometimes you have to rock the baby too. So, but you have your days and your moments, but sometimes it's good and sometimes it's just like awkward because you're like, give me my shine.
So as you both start collaborate on an idea for a project, what is the creative process like for both of you, both together and separately? How do you guys approach collaborating together on a project?
She has the idea and I do all the work. That's it. Oh, the process. Oh, just like that. 3 steps.
We try to stay in our lane, okay? Tina is the music person, okay? And I am the adapter, writer person, director. But I am not very good with the technological stuff. So, she's like, oh, Mom, do it in Final Draft. And I'm like, well, I still have this typewriter here that seems to be working just fine for me.
The struggle's real, people. The struggle's real, okay?
She's like, Mom, did you check the socials? I'm like, I have no idea. So when she says she does all the work, she does all the new work, okay? If we were back in the day, I'd be doing my own work.
Yeah, she writes it out on a notebook.
Yeah, I still have pen and paper, so yes. So the process is old school and new school together. But, so I didn't mess with the music. I said to Tina, hon, I have this play. I need music.
Oh, why do the perspective that we have with the way the story started?
Every time. Go. How do you see it?
I had a song, like, I'm going to use this song.
That's right.
For my show.
That's right.
And then it went to, how about you write, this should just be a musical. You should just write some more music.
So that's how the process go. I get a big idea. I was like, Tina, that song should really be the theme song. And then 12 songs later, we have a musical.
Yeah, because a musical doesn't have a lot of dialogue. Wink, wink, wink. So get right on that. 12 tracks.
You guys are both very strong, very, very strong women. Is it challenging sometimes managing, say, creative differences as you're collaborating together?
Yep.
For her, maybe. I don't know. I might be a little aggressive sometimes.
Tina's very aggressive.
I'm straight to the point. Just some things, it's a waste of time. So.
Yeah, she's like, nope, we're not doing that. So then I just be quiet for a minute or two, and then I come back, and then we just talk about it afterwards. Yeah, it can be.
And you come back together.
That. It's like good cop, bad cop thing, especially in this industry, because people will take advantage of you quick. So you kind of have to have that person that has that pit bull attitude, so people feel a little nervous around when, we don't want her to come on. Somebody did something wrong like that. That's a try. I don't always get that energy, but sometimes, like,
she gets very defensive if she feels people are taking advantage of me. Then it's
because Jesus and kindness can be people take advantage.
She was like, Mom, stop praying. I'm about to lay hands on people. Okay, yeah. Stop praying.
Try
I'm about
Jesus.
to lay hands. All right. But it works sometimes because by the time I get mad, people are really nervous because they're like, she never gets mad. Oh my goodness, what's going on? But us collaborating together now, I don't try to be like, well, I don't like that song, or you should, whatever she gives me, I trust enough that that's what it is. So we don't have that kind of like.
And she's learned to listen to a lot of my ideas because she realizes they're more like trying to step it up to like a new era, new generation.
2021.
Yeah. So, try to step up from that typewriter over to, the laptop.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we continue, the birth of We Are the Dream, the musical, with creators Denise Gordon and Jestina Weems. You're listening to the PowerPLAY Show.
I know the road that leads to the kingdom. It's paved with freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom.
Satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
Now back to the PowerPLAY show.
I'm excited about this project, so I want to start at the beginning. And how was this idea birthed? We're talking about We Are the Dream, the musical.
We Are the Dream, the musical. It came about. I work at the Algonquin Theater. I work in the children's program. for kids ages 5 to 10. I ran across this play when I was looking for plays. It was actually a children's play written by Catherine Miller of Arts Reach Children. I love her. And when I saw it, the music was very outdated, but I wanted to do it. There's not a lot of people of color up in Maine and New Hampshire. So needless to say, I presented it. And it was kind of like, no. But I kept reading the play and I was like, this is a really good little piece. So I then contacted Catherine and I said, listen, I want to extend this and this is what I want to do. And she said, I love your idea. So I adapted it. So I took a little 15-page play, made it into a 60-page play, a full musical. What I loved about the play when I got it, it was one of the only pieces about Martin Luther King that focused on the fact that he was a reverend. And I thought that was amazing. That was one of the, in this little children's thing, that's where they really focused most of his life. So when I saw that, I was totally thrilled. I was like, yes, no one has ever really done a piece on the fact that he was a reverend first. And he was a reverend at the age of 15. And the more that I studied and found out about, Reverend King, he was a genius. He was a man who was born knowing his purpose. And to me, there's a difference in life. We all grow up saying, what's my dream? But few of us say, what is my purpose? And he knew what his purpose was. And he knew that his purpose would cost him his life.
Wow.
So on that, it came to me that we remember his name, but we forget the message. That's what the problem is today. He had a message, and the message was the message of the good news that it's love, peace, and kindness. And we forget that. And the more I started doing my research and writing this, the more angry I got. I said, we have streets named after him and buildings named after him and all this stuff. And it just became clearer and clearer. We see his name, we remember his name, nobody remembers his message. There's no way that we would say his name in a George Floyd and our own personal incident of my husband Tina's father being killed by the police in 1993. So say his name has been real for us since 1993 when people didn't believe that. So there's a couple ways you can handle anger. And the way that I've taught Tina and I've taught myself is through creativity. So my thing is that if I could get this message out, if people could really hear this message, we could change the world, because his message was, we are the dream. We, me, you, everyone out there. Not him. He wasn't a dream. He had a dream that we would become that dream. And we fell asleep on that. So the play became very personal. It became very important that the parts of his life that I pulled out reflected the fact of his purpose. So making it into a musical was just part of that journey. So that's when Tina had a wonderful song, and I said, this would go perfect with my play. That's the real story. And she blessed and honored me enough to really come up and create the music that was perfect for this. It was just perfect. Everything came into place. And so when I say that, it's a play that is done in 3 mediums, multimedia. It's going to be live. We have film portions, and then we're going to have hologram. And we're planning on doing Dr. King, Coretta, and the KKK, and a couple of other people actually in hologram. Because when we were creating this together, Tina was like, Mom, you're so passionate about this, I can feel it when you talk about it, but it'd be great if we could feel it when you're sitting in the seat. So that's when we came up with the hologram, to give people that real feeling, because we as Black people know that fear. We know that feeling. But I think that a lot of times we make plays or we make entertainment for Black people about a message like this is real. It's for us, but it's really for everyone, but mostly for people who are not of color. It really is.
Yeah, Justina, I'm thinking that because you're much younger than I am, and growing up, we didn't really hear that much about the Reverend Martin Luther King. It was always Dr. King, right? It was always about his politics and not so much about his message, as Denise said. What did you learn about him getting involved in this project? What kind of things really stood out for you that really got you excited about being a part of this project?
The things he had to overcome as a man, as just a human being. Like, he suffered with depression, he had a stutter. The heroic things that people don't talk about, the things that a lot of Black people do struggle with, that in school they tell you, well, you're not going to be anything, and you're not going to achieve these things because you struggle in these areas. To know that a man like this could achieve so much at a young age and just move the masses with just his own belief and his faith in God, like that in itself, just to know, he was a regular man that had so much faith, and he wanted to use that to change the world, to show that we can all be loving, we can all be kind if we all look at each other with those eyes, with the eyes of equality, to say that I will love my neighbor and treat my neighbor with equality, and just be in a country and in a world that is not using race as a way to divide nations.
I think that's so important. And I wonder how many of these younger generations, people in the younger generation, are they losing the perspective of what Reverend Dr. King really stood for? I think about, I have a 14-year-old, and I asked him, I said, are you learning about stuff during Black History Month and he's like, yeah, I've heard of it, but I wonder how much is really being lost in these younger generations.
They teach you what they want you to learn, just like anything. Like, when my mom always tells me, when I was growing up, he wasn't this heroic person. He was a communist. They called him, they didn't praise him like they praise him now. So just that whole different mindset of the people that we now look up as, our heroes, what they had to go through in those times. Like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, every time he came through, his oown people were shooting him, stabbing him. You know what I'm saying? Just the things that you realize they had to face every day for our freedoms. It's so easy where you can just be like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Especially once he has kids, he has a family. He's a smart man. Like, he's an educated man. He can just go live his life and all his accolades and be whoever he wants to be. But he chooses to be for the people. And imagine if all of us as a society, especially people of color, those of us that have made it or who are up here, could have those same type of loving eyes to lift up the others that are still struggling, and just learn new ways of doing that, and how we can just be better and giving back, and how we can just teach our youth and our community to build generational wealth and equality.
Why is it important for this to happen now, for this project to happen now, Denise? Why do you think that there is such a need that this story, the way you're telling it, which is extraordinary, you guys are going to have to go to the website and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but talk about why you think it's so important that this story is told now.
I believe because people are ready to hear it again, in light of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and with the media putting it right in people's face that things have not changed. So you cannot tell me anymore, well, things have gotten better, because, people of our age, well, it's much better than it used to be. Well, it's not. And I think people are ready for a change. People are tired. People don't want to hate. Somebody, when I was doing this, put it very nicely. They said racism is about the sin. It's not about the skin. And if you put it on that level, it's a sin, not about the skin. And so it's important, because we as Black people keep getting stepped over again and again. If we get anybody else on the minority wagon, we can just call it a train, because seriously, and we're still at the back of the train. We still have no value. We still have no equality. I have a problem with equity. I don't want to be equitable. I want to be equal. And Dr. King's message talks about equal. There's one race. It's called the human race. You know, and that is really, the message is needed now. We have the pandemic, we have so much wars, and everybody's not happy with this. There's so much no hope, that this is actually a message of hope, but it's also a cry for people to get up and do something. It's not enough for you to carry a flag. It's not enough for you to do all this stuff and then go back home and pretend like everything's okay. It's not okay. I am the dream. This piece is my part of making sure the dream stays alive. Someone gave their life, and we take it for, like I said, I don't know what we'll learn in Black History Month. You know, I'm 66 years old. There was no Black History Month when I came around. There was no Black history. Black history consisted of everybody was slaves and good luck. And like Tina said, growing up, he was a communist. You know, the government was out against him. You know, Dr. King wasn't this wonderful man. But, you know, that's what I said, we forget. We forget. And the more we forget, we end up back where we were. And that's on the bottom. And that's where we are now. So this, I'm hoping, is to lift Black people up to realize you got to do something. You can't wait for a Dr. King. You can't wait for me. Everybody's got to do something. The unique part about this is we want, every time this plays at a theater, we want this to go out to a prison, to a halfway house, to a foster care. Because guess what? If you can't afford to buy a ticket to We Are the Dream, the musical, then we're going to make sure you see it because it's the message. This is not entertaining, as you see in the website. I don't want to be, you know, this is not Martin Luther King, let's dance. It's not that kind of music.
I mean, it's got good music
in
it's still
it,
popping.
But it's when you leave there, you have to leave there with the message and the thought of, what can I do? And what can I do today?
Right.
I have a dream. You have a dream. You have a dream. We have a dream. We have a dream. So let it rain. Okay. I have a dream. I have a dream. You have a dream. You have a dream. We have a dream. We have a dream. So let it rain.
Do you desire to be the change you want to see? Will you say yes to the cause when nobody wants to go? Stand for what you believe in. Each moment and season shining brighter until the whole world can see us. We are living the dream, so everyone can see. We gotta keep the dream alive. We gotta keep the dream alive. If nobody else is willing to do it, then I guess it's up to me. We gotta keep the dream alive.
On your feet, come and stand up. Lift your eyes, keep your head up. Through it all, we are striving. There is hope, so we'll keep the dream alive. Keep the dream alive.
We gotta keep the dream alive. We gotta keep the dream alive.
Jestina, you guys have some really big names associated with this project so far. So talk about that, because one of them, Hezekiah Walker, I'm just going to say is one of my favorite.
Bishop with the best swag. Yes, I'm going to give it to him. Bishop with the best swag 2022. Hezekiah, Mr. Bishop, he was amazing to work with. And just to be a part of this project with him and just listen to his advice as far as like music and his availability, like to know God could give us this project and present it to him and him be so on board with making it a success in any way he can possibly is just a blessing in itself. You know, Grammy Award winning. Thank you, Jesus. Yes.
And he was available. That's why I said this is a God project. We literally, somebody said, maybe you should ask Hezekiah Walker. And we said, maybe we should. And we called him up and he heard maybe 5 or 10 minutes of it. And he said, I'm on board. It's exactly how it happened.
Wow. That's incredible. Talk about where the production stands right now and when you're hoping to get this out to the masses? I can't wait to see it myself.
So we shot our proof of concepts in October out in Atlanta, and that's, like we said, it's in 3 mediums. So those are our filming pieces to the play, and also like any marketing material. And then y'all will see billboards up soon. Hello, somebody. But we'll be opening in October out in Atlanta, because that is, home to not only Dr. King, but the civil rights movement in itself. And just to pay homage and, honor to those, because, we do highlight other activists in the movement. So it's just to really, if we can get family members and other people that were involved in the movement just there, and tickets, and for those people to be the first ones to really see what the show is. And obviously the people from the Foundation Center, and we still have Reverend Bernice King. She's still doing her thing in Atlanta. So we definitely want to open there in October, still raising money.
September 30th, October 1st, and October 2nd.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm on dates. It's September. There we go. So we're going to do Atlanta, then North Carolina, Virginia, New York, Massachusetts. Just a mini tour,
And
kick it off.
And we're going to be doing previews throughout the summer, like little pieces of it, down in Brockton, Massachusetts. We're looking to do something down in Brockton. The Algonquin Theater also is looking to come on board with us. So
as producers, so that's amazing. And then we have Razby from B2K, who's jumping on board as a producer as well.
That's awesome.
And we had Alvin Garrett, who actually played our Martin, and he's up for 5 Grammys nominations this year in the Christian category. So we were just the people that got Dennis Reed will be helping us with the music. He just got finished doing a song with our girl
Fantasia. So he's gonna get on a verse on one of our little songs for the single.
We're hoping to have the single come out. That's Tina's department.
Yes, I don't like putting dates on people anymore, because I've learned a big lesson, baby.
With COVID.
Dates out there, especially with COVID, you might be a day 2, a week later, but we do have, it will definitely be in February. We wanted it to be February 1st, but I'm just gonna say the first week of February, the single will be out there. It is actually done, but there's a couple of people we wanted to throw on the single. Like we said, Mr. Dennis, we're hoping that Razby wants to put some bump to it. So, we're just trying to get everybody involved, because that's really what it is about. We are all a dream. We're all trying. These are people that are truly already giving back, not only in their talent, but in their communities. So to highlight what they're doing and their talents, and just to collaborate with such talented people, for us, that guidance is a blessing in itself.
Yes, so, and we were blessed enough to work with not only Tina and myself, but my son also helped on 2 of the songs.
A family affair.
Yes, it is.
Her memory of the way things happen, but go ahead, tell your version of the story.
And my granddaughter, Cicely, she's going to be helping with the hologram part. That was the other thing that we did, is we incorporated a lot of young people too. Because in this business, it's just so hard to get on anybody's project. So we were, one of the things that I have made a point is not just family members, but to have a group of young, talented people that are talented and
have young, fresh, and new ideas,
and they're innocent, and they don't need to be eaten up on their first project.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
But that's where we are so far on the project. Still working on a lot of pieces, as you know, putting everything together. But God has a time frame, and everybody says to me, "Wow, you're moving fast." I'm like,
"This is what God puts me. I am the passenger side. Open the door."
We've been doing this now about 6 years. We've been working on this. We did have a reading in New York. What year was it? I'm not good with dates. She's gonna give me a face.
No, it was 2017, because it was the year before I came.
And we did the reading at the
SBA Theater in New York.
So that was our first reading.
Awesome. All right, we're going to take another quick break. More with the mother-daughter dynamic duo, Denise and Jestina. When we continue, you're listening to the Power Play Show.
The reason for war, are we really killing people for more, for more, for more?
Look at the homeless like they're not human. I say, look at us like we're just cruel. We turn on the news and see the whole world is screwed.
We turn on the news and see the whole world.
Oh,
How can we
live in peace?
We're divided.
We're divided.
Brothers dying. Sisters crying. And no where to go. Hope is fading. The question remains. How do we get this way? How do we get this way? How do we get this way? How do we get this way?
Now, back to the Power Play Show.
As we start to wind down, I wanted to get your perspectives on some things. And first, in your performing, have you learned to detach from characters when you're in the creative process? And I'll start with you, Jestina. Have you ever been so engrossed in either a role or a project and you just kind of feel like, ooh, now I need to kind of just get some space in there? What's that process like for you?
I wish there was a process for that. Sometimes I wish there was time to be more, like people always say, oh, you're so present, you're in character. But I feel like when I'm juggling kids and acting and the producing side of it, is like you have to be able to switch those hats very, very, very fast. So it's like you can never get stuck into a character or in a role. You just have to be able to pull things out your toolbox as needed. Like, bam, 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 you emotional? Yeah, emotional. Yeah, girl, I'm happy and all that jazz. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you always have to be like, ready. And then 95% of the time we have the kids around. So that's always another thing in that workflow and process. But definitely as a creative, I definitely still try to do my workshops. Even if I have a baby on my hip, I still do write my music with my vocal coach, once a week. There's still things, even though I'm a full-time mom, homeschool, filling on half the technical stuff she can do, which is everything. So it's a lot in a day. But God bless me. It gives me the will and the way to get it all done. I'll definitely say that. And that's kind of my me time too. Sometimes I like the ability just to like have more like an excuse. Like, I need to get into character. I need my me time. Like, I need to study these parts and these lines now. So for me, it's a way to escape the norm. Like, I don't have to be mommy right now. I'm a star.
And Denise, how is that process for you? Do you find yourself sometimes it being difficult to kind of step away from a project or an idea?
I think this one has been the most difficult one of all. Acting to me is I can get into a character very easily, and I actually love being a character because I love to escape from not my own life in like a thing way, but it's somebody else's world. It's like living in that make-believe world. It's like a fantasy to me. Comedy, that's just easy and natural. Working on this project because of the message and because what it's all about completely engulfed me. To the point I was walking, talking Martin Luther King, and then production totally drained me. Because it's not a fun, happy comedy. It's not
it's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster of emotions. And directing it, writing it, and directing it, I have a vision. I have a vision that I want to see people do. You know what I mean? So this one really just took over almost my whole being. To when we came back from Georgia, I was down for about 3 weeks. I couldn't talk to anybody for a week. I wouldn't even answer the phone.
Wow.
Because it just took a lot out of me. It took a lot. And I've directed before, I've done my little productions, but this, because the nature of the piece.
Mm-hmm.
And so many hats we had to wear just in general.
Yeah.
So.
Being independent producers and artists, that's not easy.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That independent road.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah
it's
to
a different
that. Oh my gosh, it's a labor of love and everything that comes with it. Black women's images in media, I have to say, have shifted to more powerful, dynamic roles than of years past. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what you make of the roles that are now being offered to Black women.
I mean, I think we're killing it right now. Black girl magic all day.
I love it because I think it's a dream that I always go back to Cicely Tyson, and she was so deliberate in the roles that she took. So to see roles open up that project Black women not as that angry Black woman or a maid, a slave or something, but to actually show our intelligence, show our strength, show our creativity. I love it. And I love the idea that there's more Black women writers to be able to project that correctly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it makes a difference in what we're seeing. So I say yes, 2022, I love the direction in which we're going as far as with Black women in the image in which we're being portrayed. I love it.
And the standards we're breaking. So
yeah, I mean, Viola Davis, go.
Regina King, all of them.
Yeah.
We got Black women directors up there getting their props and awards. Let's keep going.
Right is everything. I couldn't be.
Yeah, I was thinking of I saw Halle Berry's Bruised, and my gosh, she pushed herself to the limits. And I was reading some of the background material, and she ended up with broken
real bruises
and everything. But it just, to me, it was like watching that film, and I'm a filmmaker, and watching that, and I thought to myself that, and I may get some hate mail about this, but a man could not have directed that movie because it was her fight was in here.
Yes.
Men fight from here. Women fight from in here. And I just felt like only a woman could direct. And I think she did just a brilliant job with it. All right. I have a question that I'm going to put both of you all on the spot for. If you had a chance to play any role of any character at any time, past, present, what would it be?
Any role
at any time, past, present.
That someone else has played, a role that has already been done, that, you have a little...
I would probably be a good Harriet Tubman.
Okay.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, because I'd be like, let's go. We don't have time for none of this. We gotta go.
I don't know, I'm on Viola Davis kick, and I was just thinking that, okay, Suicide Squad wasn't really a thing, but I loved her character.
Yeah, she would be some type of Marvel movie.
I would be some type of Marvel movie. Either I would love to play the new Black Panther if anybody's out there.
There you go.
Moves. I have moves. No, I do. I love Marvel. I do love Marvel.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a huge Marvel fan as well.
I go even back to Roots. I'll take any of that.
Oh,
I'll take any of that.
That's it. We'll be doing Roots.
The musical.
Actually, I wish somebody would write the Whoopi Goldberg story, because I would actually like to portray Whoopi Goldberg. That's actually who.
Okay.
That's the person I would like to portray.
All right. And you all listening out there in the universe, here we go. There she is.
Whoopi, I'm right here. I know. Me and you sound alike. That same manly voice. That's why.
What is next for this dynamic partnership that you both have created?
What's next? I'm gonna let her roll this boat
What's
for
next?
as long as she possibly can.
Yeah. For me, I'm just hoping, I don't know, Tina's on her creative roles. She is writing books and moving along. I would love, what I'm in the process of is, I would love to do a one-woman show. My
But
life,
it still has both of us in it. So.
I know that's the key.
We cannot not work together.
It's called a one-woman show, but it has the two women in it.
I love it.
started, she ends it.
No, it's still one
Woman, just one woman.
She
for
made
one
all
woman.
this.
But that's my next thing, is a one-woman show, to not only highlight, not so much myself, but as you know, we have an incredibly amazing family.
Yes, we do.
And it would highlight the family jewels, as I would like to say. And that's my next project. Tina, on the other hand, is about to.
I have a children's book that just came out called Michael and Ralph. I have another book that will be out by probably summer of 2022 called The End. Then I have a table coffee book coming out for my me-sexual fans. So we can keep that body positive energy going, because summer vibes. Then I have, of course, the musical, the album, and then I'm working with Raspy with a couple of things. So we got a lot of projects under our wing. So busy. Plus homeschooling my oldest and raising a toddler. So can't get any more crazier than that.
Well, I have to say, you are both the dream. Tell folks where they can learn more about We Are the Dream, the musical, and how to donate to this important project.
Yes, because independent work is hard work. Donations are helpful and greatly appreciated. You can learn more at wearethe.dreamthemusical.com. Check us out. You'll get our whole little story and bio. You'll also learn more about the show and how it's broken down, as well as, a donation or two. And our little proofs of concepts, you'll be able to see video as well of what we've already put together.
Some clips of the music.
Yeah, little teasers of the beat. Tap, tap, tap.
And we're also on Facebook. Give the socials.
The socials. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're creating that TikTok for y'all. So anybody else that wants to throw a verse on We Are the Dream or a song or two that we have out there, we'll be throwing out little challenges and stuff, trending. We gotta create some trends.
And we'll be doing a clubhouse. They said.
Hashtag We Are the Dream, people. We are the dream. That digital currency goes a long way. It only costs you time.
Yes, and we will have some NFTs coming out.
Look at us in the metaverse.
Yes,
Hello.
I know. We take Bitcoin, anything like that. It's all good. Crypto too. But yes, and then I'm from New Hampshire. I just want to throw that out there. I want to debunk the myth. There are Black people in New Hampshire. Okay.
And I'm here in New York, so feel free, visit our website. You can email us through there if you want to come on as an investor, as executive producers, because it's always good to have more than one or two.
That's true.
And we will be live streaming this, so you will be able to get live stream tickets also. So hop on the website. I am Denise Gordon. Denise Richardson Gordon. We all have like 5 names.
Yeah. Jestina Weems, Rosenduff. Husbands. Sometimes we use those last names. Sometimes we don't.
And we'll have all this information and a link to the website on the PowerPlayShow.com. Denise, Jestina, family, thank you so much for being guests today. And I pray for nothing but ultimate success for you both. And Jestina, will you close us out with a little vocal inspiration?
Whoa, what? The inspiration of my vocals. I don't know if it's going to inspire y'all, but definitely to inspire you to click the done button sooner than later. I'm more of a writer.
No, just do a verse for one of them. Come on. I'm flashing people.
No, she's flashing. Oh, God. Why should I feel discouraged? And why do the shadows come? And once in my heart is lonely. That's it, y'all. Just press that button. Be gone, be gone, be gone. But yes. That's
Oh my
soulful
gosh.
sound that she likes.
Thank you so much for doing this. And again, just praying for the best of success for both of you. You guys are just so incredible. And I can't wait to see We Are the Dream, the musical.
Yes, and thank you for having us. Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
us.
much.
Really, we are honored and blessed. We do not take this for granted. We really don't.
Remember, you can listen to past episodes of the Power Play Show wherever you subscribe to podcasts, including iHeartRadio, Pandora Podcasts, and now Amazon Music. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel. Simply search the Hull Bay Productions Media channel and be sure to subscribe so you always know when we're live. And we air each Saturday at 5 p.m. on BroncoEyeRadio.com. So tune in each Thursday for a new episode of the Power Play Show, wherever you subscribe to podcasts or on our YouTube channel, or simply visit thepowerplayshow.com. Until next time, I'm Tonya McGrath. Keep creating and building.